Why did Joe Rogan blow up in the mainstream media sphere?
Ivermectin.
Because he became the face of what was seen as irrational resistance. Now, was that fair to Joe? Well, yeah, it made him a huge star. But was it fair on Ivermectin? No, it was not fair. In my opinion, other people will disagree. No, that wasn't fair. And that should have been part of our common practice to see if it could help or not. It wouldn't help everybody, but maybe it would have helped. On the vaccine, was it fair? Yeah, because at the time, he didn't have a recognized basis for resistance other than to play to an emotion that was out there. Oh, yeah, but he wound up being right. Listen, just because it winds up coming out that way doesn't mean that you knew anything or that you were right to be pushing it that way. Now, see, here's my concern. All these people are upset. But where are you now about pushing for the answers? About pushing for government to review this, about them telling you what the statistics are and what they are.
But Chris, we can't even talk about it here because if we say certain words, just like I got a strike for even mentioning it, because these are facts. Cancer up, turbo cancer up, people dying at a younger age up, people dropping dead. I saw this video and it's out there. Died suddenly. Pat, I think you showed it to me. They're embalming these people. They're cutting them open and they're pulling out white calamari strands out of people's arms. And like you said, and I get where you're coming, but we can't talk about it. And during this pandemic, which the biggest problem was, Chris, during the pandemic, they silenced two of the main doctors, and one of them was Robert Malone, who started the mRNA. Like, everybody silenced this guy, and it's like, if I make Fiji water, I'm the maker of Fiji water, and all of a sudden they start having problems with Fiji water, and people are dying, and I want to talk about it, and you silence the Fiji water guy, that's a problem.
You know what I love?
I agree with that.
Well, I think people have a problem with two things: the hypocrisy and the accountability.
Yeah.
My body, my choice. What the hell happened with that? My body, my choice. Abortion's the biggest issue that lost Republicans.
Except
the midterm elections. All of a sudden, mandate, you lose your job, you lose your business.
But it's
and then accountability, and I refuse to back off this. Like you said, China, what the hell? You started on it, and then we just pivoted to science got political. It's so divisive. China.
Right.
What the F?
Yeah, and here's the answer. If there's no clear advantage, the people in power don't play that game. They can't make China and the Wuhan lab story, they can't really make Biden own it on the right. They can't. It started when it wasn't on his watch. Yeah. Well, he hasn't been curious about it. Well, but neither were you. So that's why they don't talk about it.
But
and on the left, they don't want to talk about it.
Why do they need to politically make anyone own it? It's on China. It's not on Trump. Yeah, it's not on Biden. It's on China.
I know, but here's the thing, okay? Why are you guys successful, okay? People are waking up to the fact that the politics is a game that is between two teams that only care about what matters to them. And as people are waking up to the game, they want people to expose the game and oppose the game. Enter valuetainment, okay? That's why they're not figuring out the lab. There's no advantage to one side over the other. That's why they're not talking about the vaccine, because there's no clear advantage. By the way, that's why we're not fighting fentanyl in this country, is because one party can't say, you brought fentanyl in. You're the real reason. That's why they're letting it kill everybody. We're in the same place with the vaccine.
But why does it need to be political?
You know who's reporting on the increase in all of these net mortality things? Me. You won't see a story about it anywhere else on any of the big media platforms. I'm doing it with my doctor, who's afraid to talk about it because she's afraid that she'll have people come after her practice. But she's doing it anyway because she cares. So if I were part of some conspiracy to have people be sick, I would not be reporting on these things. No, I wouldn't even be telling you that I am sick.
I think a part of one, people can say whatever they want to say. If a person's willing to have a conversation with me, I respect it. Tubin, say whatever you want about the guy. He said he was a sport. We talked. You can say anything you want about anybody. If they're willing to sit there and have a conversation, you have to have respect for the fact that they're willing to have that exchange.
I agree.
Because that's what we didn't have during COVID. And anybody that's willing to do it today, salute to you. I think Rogan, the comments about Rogan was the one that was willing to question at all costs. And by the way, if Rogan wasn't at Spotify and Daniel Ek didn't have his back, they would have canceled him the minute they could have canceled him. They wanted to destroy that guy like you wouldn't believe. They wanted to get rid of him. One of the smartest moves he ever made is go to Spotify. And when he went to Spotify, he only put up short clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing all this stuff. Now everything is back. But I'm willing to bet that one of the reasons why he renewed his contract with Spotify is because the way they defended him when everybody else was trying to trash him. And he realized it's very hard to find people like this that are going to back somebody up.
I agree, but I was worried about them when they made him take things of his comedy profile down. I was worried when he went to Spotify. Worried. I don't even know him. But I'm saying there is a freedom that you have right now that if Valuetainment were acquired, you would no longer have. Witness the Candace Owens situation with Ben Shapiro, right? The corporation is always going to protect itself. I think that you're right. You know more about the situation than I do. That net, Spotify wound up being a net positive for Joe. But I was worried when they were looking back and said, oh, these things were kind of racist in your comedy act. Take those down.
Yeah.
They won't be on Spotify. I was worried about that. And certainly during the pandemic, you know, again, I'm not feeling sorry for myself on any level. I'm a very fortunate guy as media goes. But I got so much heat during the pandemic for both sidesing situations. And that's because, but that's the job. But here's why people don't do it that much. Because you do get shit on. Because you do get heat from everybody else. And that's why I say, not that there's a right and a wrong, but go back and show me Fox News or anyone, Tucker, anybody, reporting it differently at the time. You won't find it. Oh, yeah, that's because everybody was on. That's right. So if everybody was operating under the same set of assumptions, well, then who do you decide to blame for having an agenda? Who do you say was just a victim of the dynamic?
I only have one pushback. Everyone should have a little bit of grace to be able to evolve and say, look, in March or in April, dude, I had no clue, including Donald Trump. But 3 years later, 4 years later, still doubling down on your positions. Vaccine, 100% success rate, 99%, then it's 90, then it's 80, then it's 50. Then they're like, it kind of works. There's still people basically not willing to acknowledge that they effed up royally.
Well, we know why. Because even this guy, Chef Nerd or whatever he is, who puts up the clip, oh, people would really appreciate it if you, that's bull. Listen, you apologize for something, you're a dead man, okay? In our current culture, what we believe and what we teach our kids and how we live our lives as friends, that doesn't exist in our media or our political culture. That's nonsense.
Which is trash.
If Bobby Kennedy Jr., okay, could say what he'd really want to say, he would say that his position on vaccines has totally evolved. But he ain't going to say that because the media will kill him because they want him out, because he's going to deter. If he stays in and gets on the ballots, he's going to determine the presidential election. So the media wants him out.
He will.
The Democrats want him out, and now increasingly, the Republicans want him out.
Yep.
And if he were to apologize for anything, he's a dead man. We say that you should apologize. We say that there's grace. There is no grace. There is only advantage. Should there be grace? 100%. That's the way we live our personal lives. But professionally, the same people that come at me do the things that they come at me for.
I think that's the one thing with fame, right? You know, fame will say, okay, you don't want fame and the accolades and stuff that comes with it. Don't go get it. Go live a small life. Hey, I don't like the fact that Stephen A. Smith comes after me. I'm LeBron James. You can't talk to me like that. Bro, you should have never gone to the NBA.
Right.
Just right after high school, just go and work at Five Guys or go be a lawyer or go do something else that you're not going to. Fame brings that. And with fame, if one is expecting grace with fame,
doesn't happen.
We're delusional.
Right.
And I used to think that used to exist, but it does not. You know, and by the way, the first time around you get fame, you act in a different way than the second and the third, and then you realize, bro, relax, pump the brakes. So sometimes you have to just like, it's almost good that you go through fall early with fame because most people have no clue how to handle it the first time. It's not an easy thing to do.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
I want to go to our sponsor because Minnect is on fire. And let me give you guys some statistic here. It's very, very important, guys, for you to know this. Guy sends me a message today. I won't give you his name, but I'll tell you the question he asked me. Hey, Patrick, life-changing content, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, I've become burned out with my life. I'm a structural engineer. I'm starting to have panic attacks and constant anxiety. And I'm thinking about going across country and living abroad. I don't want to live in America right now. And he's sending me a message. Guy does very well for himself. Makes a few $100,000 a year. Doesn't know who to get in contact with. Sometimes these types of questions you can't ask your relatives, you can't ask your family, you can't ask your siblings because they're going to sit there and say, wait, you're going through tough times? Do you know a cold response, Vinny, on email, what percentage of cold email you send to somebody, what percentage of the time people respond? 1%. Do you know on Instagram, it's 3%. Twitter is 3 to 5%. LinkedIn is 8 to 12%. You know what a cold response on Minnect is right now? 91%. And you know what's even better than the 91%? Over 50% of the time, you will get the answer to your question within 24 hours. Why is that important? Because anybody that I want to get a hold of, I don't have a problem saying, hey, man, I value your time. Here's $200. What do you think about this? I'm thinking about raising money on this. Hey, here's $50. I'm going through this issue right now. What do you think about this? Hey, I'm trying to raise some money. What are some 5 things you can tell me about doing this? Hey, my wife and I are going through some challenges. Hey, we're trying to put our kids into private school. What do you think about this? Hey, I'm thinking about leaving my job to start a business. What do you think about this? Minnect has become the top networking app where people get back to you promptly. And the reason why they do is because you show respect for their time by simply saying, hey, I'm willing to pay for a speedy response. By the way, go ahead and Minnect Cuomo on anything he said today you disagree with. Go to Minnect him. Ask him a question. See what kind of answers he gets. The audience loves Cuomo's answers. That's his QR code. Go to his QR code. Ask him a question. Go have a conversation with Vinny or Adam or Sauce and see what kind of response they're giving you. By the way, on top of that, Tulsi Gabbard just crossed 100 Minnect.
Awesome.
And she's responding on Minnect. We even ran a contest right now with Minnect that we're going to be having dinner together here in South Florida at Casa D'Angelo. And then afterwards, we're going to go to the cigar lounge. And here's what the Leaders Bulletin right now looks like. All you have to do is go to Minnect.com. Rob, if you can go to Minnect.com, click on the logo, Rob. There you go. You go to Minnect.com on the top left, click on the Leaders Bulletin. Then when you go there, you can see the video to explain the contest. But if you go below, there's different categories. That's the lightweight right now. At the top is Tulsi. Then it's Brandon Davis. Then it's, I can't read it if you can zoom in. What's that name? Santino Testani, okay, at third place. Wow, look at Joanne Gavilan is right behind Santino, 73, and then Gary Wood, 66. Then go to the middleweight, Rob, if you want to go to the middleweight. Middleweight, we have Fernando still at the top with 69. Then you got Parsa, he's about to pass him up, 68. Then you got Michael Mara and Tomo, the rest of the camp. Then if you can go on the right, Rob, you're even there. Is that Rob Gargoyle at the 10th spot?
Yeah, the 10th spot middleweight.
Rob is getting Minnect. Freaking sick. All right, so then we have the heavyweights.
Krishan.
Dustin, boom, 204. Calvin G, 109. Chris, third, 59. Krishan, 48. Then Dennis, Ben Pappas, Aaron Mond. And then we got Sapula, or Mario. And I go to home team. Vinny's just dominating everybody.
Vinny's
497, 304, 252. Adams 1 away from 100, 99. Then go to the bottom for people asking the most questions. You got Eddie at the, he's asking 90. This is a brand new person using Minnect. 93 questions. Terry Hall, 92. Manuel Lopez, 88. Eric, 76 questions being asked. And then go to the right. People that have been on Minnect before. Dustin's asked 229. Wow, Sarujan got 219, Ozzy 197, and then you got the rest of the folks. So go use the app, start Minnecting today, get the answer to your questions. I've learned from a long time ago at 23, 24, 25 years old, I am willing to pay to get the answers now because the right answer to a question I have today, not 6 months from now, not a year from now, not 2 years from now, from the right qualified person can change my life and save me years of headaches. Anyways, download the app, start Minnecting today.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.